Check out this exclusive interview at the G-List Society with your host, Waddie G, right now.
Hello, listeners. I am Waddie G, the creator of the G-List Society blog, and you are listening to a new episode of G-Chat, where I interview our favorite LGBT personalities over the phone. And right now, I have two exciting guests. Normally, I have one, but today is a special occasion because if you watch the Grammys on this past Sunday, or for depending on when you saw it, January 2014, there was a big ceremony, a marriage ceremony that happened during the Macklemore performance, and one set of the couples were there, and it just blew me away once I found out who they were. And then when I featured them on the blog, I mean, you guys showed a lot of love to this couple, and they are Octavius Terry and Jamal Sims. Hello, guys.
Hey, everybody. What's happening?
Everything is great. I want to say congratulations now that I'm speaking to you.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm sure you're getting them everywhere. I want to get back to the Grammys because, before we started interviewing, we were just talking about, the outpouring support that you got, and, just wanted to thank you guys for even checking out the website and saw, the love that the readers, the G-List Society readers were giving you guys as well. Yeah, one of the things, I saw, on blogs and just everywhere else on social media, it was, okay, here's this big ceremony. You got the gay, straight couples, different races. They're being married by Queen Latifah. And some people complained that, well, being that there are same-gender loving couples out there, why wasn't it somebody who's out like Ellen DeGeneres or Neil Patrick Harris or someone of that caliber? Knowing that, one, you were friends with Queen Latifah and that you were part of the ceremony, did that even come to your mind, or did anybody even bring that to you? How would you even address something like that?
At this point, it didn't matter who was marrying us as long as I was being married to Octavius. It just didn't matter. I didn't care if they were black, white, gay, straight, yellow, purple. The most important thing was that we were being married, So it wasn't about who it was, even though it was Queen, and she is a friend of ours, and which we had no idea until we got to the Staples Center that she was even going to do it. So
really,
no. So by the time that happened, that was just all icing on the cake. So I never thought about who it was and what they, their personal background. It just didn't matter. I was grateful that it was her because we have a history as far as, I worked with her on 2 films, and, it was just one of those things where God was just putting everything in place. But other than that, it doesn't matter to me because I'm not really too hung up on, we've never really been hung up on labels, However, anybody wants to identify themselves, that's really on them. And we identify with gay because that's who we are, and we've accepted it. But, other than that, I don't, it doesn't, I'm not too.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree. That's amazing because the other thing you said, even you didn't know who was going to be the officiator, and I was wondering, so when you saw Latifah and Latifah saw you, one, did she even know you were going to be one of the couples? How was that initial reaction when you both saw each other, being that you worked together and are friends?
We
literally walked in because we only had one rehearsal.
Yeah.
Everything was top secret. We didn't know how many couples, who the couples were. They just said, be here on Saturday at the Grammys, check in, blah, blah, blah. We walk into, we didn't even know it was for the Macklemore performance. We just knew that couples were getting married. We kind of assumed that it would be. And we walk in, and we're lining up against the wall. And in the back, we see Queen Latifah in like a baseball cap and a trench coat. And she stands up, and she's like, and we're looking at her like, is she presenting? And she comes up to us with a bodyguard. She said, "I'm marrying you guys." And we were like, "Oh, you kidding me?"
It was crazy. It was crazy.
I'm sure it had to be a lot of laughter and stuff.
It was just, it was crazy.
Because I wouldn't even dare to ask you which was the favorite part of the whole time, or the whole ceremony, just because so many great things happened to you guys. Now, you mentioned Queen Latifah, I mentioned Queen Latifah being the celebrity that made your wedding official. Were there other celebrities that you were standing near that maybe pat you on the back, gave you congratulations, gave you some kind of eye signal or something, just for support?
Yeah, well, it's funny. My favorite part of it, besides us getting married, which was the best part, but my favorite part was us coming out, because in the performance on television, you can't really see it, but you could hear it. During his performance, you hear the crowd start to yell, and they start to clap really, really hard. And the camera's still on Macklemore and while he's performing, but in the audience, we came out in the middle of it, and to see Paul McCartney stand up for us and give, everybody's clapping, Jay-Z and Beyonce. So where we were standing, I could see Beyonce and Jay-Z right off of Octavius' right shoulder.
Yeah, so if you look at Beyonce and Jay-Z in the front, we're
right. And so that feeling of, the people that we look up to and the people that, we admire and everybody standing up as we walk out was probably the best feeling in the world. And I think that's when the, tears and everything else started falling.
Wow. Were you able to hold in the tears during the ceremony? Or at what time did you bawl, if you did?
Well, one of the most poignant pictures that you may see out there on the internet is one of Jamal wiping my eyes, because it literally in the rehearsal I was like, "Are you gonna cry?" He's like, "No, I'm not." So I don't think I am either. But when I tell you, when you walk out and the energy is at 1,000 because everybody's standing up, I literally came out and we positioned ourselves in the very front, and the spotlight came over our heads, and we were holding hands. And then all of a sudden I saw everybody else around us crying. And I was just thinking to myself, I'm getting ready to marry, the man I've loved for the last 7 years to be with the rest of my life. And then that's when it hit me. So I actually closed my eyes so I could look down so I didn't cry. But I just couldn't hold it in anymore.
That's amazing. Oh my.